what are the most important things for 20 something and 30 something year olds to be thinking about right now?
Yeah.
As we orient ourselves for the rest of our lives, really, we don't have that much time on the earth. So like, how can we, how do we want to leave it when we're not here anymore? I think that's a question a lot of us are in at our age right now.
Yeah. And it's almost like a blessing and a curse of our generation is that we have almost like infinite opportunities. Whereas I think previous generations, had more of like, oh, like, I'm going to go into one of these. I mean, if you go back like a couple hundred years, right? It's like, oh, I was going to be either a factory worker or a farmer, or you had like 10 options. And then you do that, you did a good job at it. And you kind of look back at your life and you're like, well, I picked a job, I did a good job at it. And, I'm happy with my choices. And now we have like an infinite set of choices that we could be doing. And we could really be kind of limitless in our career path and our life path, which is both a blessing and a curse because you both have all this opportunity, but then you can have, right, like kind of like the curse of choices where you have this regret of like, oh, but I could have been doing this, or why didn't I do this? Or like, you're kind of like looking at your life in all these parallel universes and like, there's always some more optimal choice than what you made, right? You're not going to be in the perfect parallel universe out of every possible universe. And so, it's like a lot of people, I think, might end up getting hung up on that or kind of like in a smaller sense, just overwhelmed by the amount of choices that they have.
Yeah. And there are actually studies that show, like psychologically, if you go into an ice cream shop where there's 50 different ice cream flavors, that you're way less happy than if you go in and there are 3.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have in every facet of your life, you have all these choices, and people tend to think like, oh, more is better. Like more is always better, right? Like why would you want 2 choices when you can have any kind of choice you want? But you get kind of like, stressed out, I guess, about making the right choice. And then you have more like buyer's remorse of like, oh, but I could have made a better choice, right? Like there used to only be 2 types of blue jeans and now there's like 5,000 types. And so you go into the store, you're like, what the fuck where do I even start in terms of like,
Right.
What section do I even go into here? It's like, well, do you want like the skinny boot cut or the boot cut with the skinny, begin? I'm like, I don't know, man. I just want a good pair of jeans. Like, I don't, give me the best one. I don't want to make all of these choices. It's not like, something I want to do. But yeah, I think there is a paradox of choice for sure. And at the same time, I don't want to sound negative. I'm very inspired by all the opportunities that we have in our generation and the fact that the internet has opened up almost limitless career paths.